Hey y'all, it's the Country Notary. As always, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Hopefully I can share some information with you that'll help you as you grow along your journey as a mobile notary, loan signing agent, or maybe expand your business in a different direction. I know many of us got into the mobile notary loan signing agent business because it was a thriving business, especially in the 2020-2021 timeframe because of automation, apps, signing services, as well as low interest rates, which caused a boom in refinances and caused a major increase in the demand for mobile notaries, and many of us profited from that a great deal, of course, including myself. However, as we move forward, we see interest rates rising and the types of loan products that we're seeing coming across our phones and emails are starting to change, and refis, of course, are starting to drop back to pre-COVID levels. So I'm not sure about yourself, but this is something that I've talked about for a few months now and predicted. And as a result of just thinking that nothing is too good to be true type thing, with the amount of refis that we're getting, it was too good to be true. Excuse me. I projected that I shouldn't lean 100% on my mobile notary business for long-term sustainability. And I have some notes today, so if I look away from the phone every once in a while, please excuse me. So I have always had a plan to get into the real estate investing industry, real estate investing, initially as a home flipper, and then recently getting into the real estate investing industry in order to acquire rental properties, Airbnbs as well, something that we've looked at, my daughter and I. When I speak about we've talked about and looked at for a long time. My daughter herself is a real estate agent, so she's taught me a lot, given me a lot of insight about how the real estate agent works from a retail side, and I've been doing my research myself on how the business works and operates from the investment side. And if things go according to plans, we will be investing in our first property real soon. The mobile notary business is great, and I do foresee, at least with the types of offers that I've received in the last couple of months, I do still see some earning potential from the mobile notary loan signing agent business, but the growth and the peak of activity that we saw the last couple of years will obviously be affected because of higher interest rates. So something to consider. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Think about the opportunities that might be out there for you if you're planning on expanding or branching your business in a different direction. Think about the knowledge that you've gained as a mobile notary, the amount of information that you've learned about real estate and real estate transactions, and how that knowledge and that experience might be able to help you take your business in a different direction, branch off, use that knowledge to leverage it to learn new things and grow your business in a different direction. There are opportunities out there, and I'm starting to see a couple just in the last couple of months, almost as it evolves from the numbers that we saw in 2021 and the conditions that caused that growth. Now we're starting to see opportunities maybe come from different areas because of the need for housing and the need for affordable housing and the demand of that's being caused by the current housing conditions, where, as we know, it's been a seller's market for the last couple of years, and home prices are being, of course, affected, inflated, for lack of a better term. So how does that affect me? How does it affect you as a mobile notary? It affects me, and I'll talk about my experience in this video and where this video is going and what this has to do with business credit. It affects me because it drives me to look for new ways to expand my business as a loan signing agent, as a mobile notary, and to use current knowledge and leverage that knowledge to expand where the market might be going, if indeed it is moving in a different direction. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit in this video as I talk about my business credit journey. Now, I've spoke about this in a previous video, this business credit, and all of us may or may not be interested in building our business or expanding our businesses. So if you're not, this video may not be for you. Please, keep your eyes open for future videos that I might make over the mobile notary loan signing agent experience. But in this case, I'm going to talk about expanding my business and how I'll be using business credit to do so. Initially, I wasn't making any progress, doing research, watching videos, watching bloggers, and oftentimes feeling defeated and bummed out about the whole thing because I wasn't seeing any progress. And I did hang in there though, watching my own credit score be raise up to the low 70s. I had a 740 at one time, and then for absolutely no foreseeable reason dropped back down to 700s, dropped back down to 690, back to 719, and I didn't feel comfortable that my personal credit score would be strong enough to garner me the types of credit limits that I was looking for when applying for business credit cards, as well as learning how the progression worked. That was a little confusing, and I would say stressful as well. Is it like you build credit on the business side by starting with low credit limits and then over time increasing your credit limits as you get new cards? Or is it like a credit score? If your credit score is good, you get offered higher rates. Is it based on your business's income, annual income, monthly cash flow? So those were all questions that I had, and always afraid to be rejected. Something I fear applying for cards, applying for business credit, applying for loans and being rejected. It's just such a bad feeling that sits with me from, back in the days where I worked check to check and typically always, barely making it, needing to get a loan or, thinking, should I apply for a credit card or should I apply for credit? And having that feeling, that anxiety that I would not get approved were all things that were holding me back. So all my research kept pointing back to the same thing. The better your personal credit is, the better your potential and chances or potential opportunity is to be approved for business credit. So I just kept working on my personal credit score, always making sure my bills are paid on time, keeping my credit card utilization below 30%, even lower when I could, and slowly my personal credit score slowly climbed back up to right at about a 719 at the moment I'm doing this video. Not something that I share with people normally. However, needing to take advantage of the time and timing because of the fluctuations that I've been experiencing to start applying for business credit. So I hope some of this information resonates with you and provides some useful information that you can take and decide if indeed you're expanding your business. Is obtaining business credit a good idea for you and your future plans? Okay, and I'd also like to say, because of my experience as a mobile notary and just always in a learning mode, always watching videos on specific topics that I'm either experiencing or needing to do more research on, that the thirst for just additional knowledge led me down the path of watching other people who spoke on the topic of business credit, something I was very intrigued about, and obviously thought, well, if I could raise business credit, a certain amount of business credit, that would then give me the capital to either, one, invest in my business, two, invest in other cash flowing businesses, three, make a deposit or down payment, I should say, on a rental property or a down payment on a home for our future real estate venture. So it just made sense. Watching various bloggers on YouTube, I started with Noelle Randall way back in, I think, the spring of last year. And I heard a quote recently. It's amazing how when you know something, you forget about how it felt when you didn't know. And there were so many things I just didn't know. And then now that I've learned them and researched and heard it over and over, it just makes so much more sense now. I have so much more clarity. But again, it's funny how you don't remember how it felt when you didn't know something once you know it. So I registered my LLC in July 2021, and then in September I opened my business checking account. So shortly afterwards, I think it was maybe mid-October, I applied for my first Net 30 business account with Quill. Quill.com. Quill sells various various merchandise, I should say, products, merchandise that you can use in your business. Everything from, in my case, copy paper, manila folders, pens, toner. They sell, various antibacterial wipes, you name it, office supplies, things that you can use in your business. As I'm looking around my home office and seeing some of the items that I've purchased for Quill. Quill offered over their website a Net 30 account, and I've made, I think, 3 purchases with Quill, maybe once every other month since I opened the account. So that was my first business credit line. I think Quill reports to Dun & Bradstreet. Don't quote me. But on the advice of others, I opened the Quill account and my first credit line. So I started doing a lot more research at that point on business credit. So first of all, how would I use it, and how could it lead me to get and obtain more credit? Was trying to understand and learn the progression, and kept, doing more research, watching more videos, and came across Kevin McNeil on YouTube, and him as well as a couple of others, Credit Plug. They offer such a wealth of knowledge on the acquisition of business credit, the purpose, how business credit can help you grow your business. And around that time, I received 2 offers in the mail for business credit cards, one from Chase and one American Express. And I gave it a lot of thought, because I'm very much a window shopper when it comes to things. I gave it a lot of thought, and what I decided to do is I applied for the Chase business credit card, and I went online and did some research on the Capital One business credit card. I'm a Capital One card holder. I have 2 Capital One, I think, Quicksilver credit cards. I've had a relationship with Capital One for probably 15 to 20 years. I decided to apply for the Chase revolving card that was mailed to my business address, as well as the online. I applied for the Capital One card because of my relationship with Capital One, and I was sadly declined for both cards. So I called their 800 numbers. I spoke to both 800 numbers to try to get an understanding of why I was declined and what I needed to do in the future to prepare for applying again. I only think it's fair that you give a person, business, the opportunity to fix the issues and apply again when those issues are fixed. So I talked to the 800 numbers, and basically the feedback that I got was 2 things. One, my business had not been open very long. It's only a year, and I don't have 2 years of tax returns, which is usually a prerequisite or established credit. And then secondly, insufficient business annual income. And as you can imagine, I was a little furious, declined, but I have to say, down but not out. So that was early January. And after the rejection, I just went back and started, doing more research, watching more videos. I kind of take a little break sometimes because I get anxious, a little bit of anxiety over certain events that happen in my business. Sometimes it gives me a little stress, I should say. So I took a little break. Didn't want to have too many inquiries and rejections in the same time frame. And it didn't take too much of a break. Maybe late February, first week of March, I went to Sam's. Kevin McNeil has a video that talks about obtaining business credit for beginners. And I had watched it before, probably multiple times. So After my little break, something drove me to start watching the beginner videos again. And in one of the videos, Kevin McNeil talks about the Sam's Business credit card. He basically gives the advice of print all of your credentials on a piece of paper, your business name, your business address, your phone number, of course, business email address, your Dun & Bradstreet number, as well as your EIN number and any other relevant information about your business, your annual income. I also always keep my business checking account routing number and account number, because sometimes I've seen where companies want to verify your banking activity. All printed on a piece of paper. Go into the store. The advice was to go into the store and apply at the customer service counter. And following that advice, I went to Sam's on a Sunday afternoon, and as it turns out, I was approved for the Sam's Business credit card. Sorry for the glare. lowkountryink mobile notary, and I was approved for $2,500, and I was ecstatic. So the two previous rejections were made up with. Very excited, and the joy that I've received for being approved for my first business credit card. So now I have my Quill Net 30 account and the Sam's card. And afterwards, end of maybe first week of March. So afterwards, and I'm just going to go back and look at my notes because I want to be as accurate as possible. I took a little time and typed this up. About a month later, I get my courage out. Maybe again, it was always one thing that someone says in a video that captures my attention and then gives me motivation to get to that next step. I'm not making this up. I hope something in my video helps you do the same thing. I'm watching Kevin McNeil again on YouTube, and he talks about business credit cards at the store level, store cards like Sam's obviously is a store, Home Depot, Lowe's. He mentioned a few other companies that may or may not have been in my particular area of where I live, and it took me a couple of weeks, and I thought about it. Kevin McNeil talked about Home Depot. Well, real estate and home rehabbing is something that we'll be getting into real soon in our business, in my case. So I decided to go in that Sunday afternoon and apply for the Home Depot credit card. And a couple of points of clarification, because it's somewhat confusing initially. Home Depot as well as Lowe's offers various business credit products, much to my surprise. Home Depot offers, I think, 3 or 4 different types of business credit cards, as well as Lowe's, even maybe more, and they're very confusing because of the names. They're backed by different banks, and the terms and conditions as well as the perks are different. And these cards are tailored based to the type of businesses that apply for these cards. In my case, I'm a small business, not having large annual revenue, and only being in business for a year. So I was a little leery of applying for an in-store card because they're backed by banks, obviously, and I didn't have relationships with those banks. So what I did, I took the low-risk method, the path of least resistance, and applied for the Home Depot Net 30 card. They basically offer a Net 30, Net 60 card. The payment terms are, if the account is paid in full by the end of 30 days, there's no interest rate, no interest charged. At the end of 60 days, there's I think 2.5% interest fee, so it's still very low. So I applied for the Net 30 card, Net 30, Net 60 card, and I was approved for $3,000. And I was pretty excited about that. I made a few purchases and did a little bit more research. And I decided a couple of Sundays later that first thought to myself, well, if I could be approved for the Net 30 card, maybe I could be approved for the revolving credit card. After I understood the different card products, I realized that the revolving credit card would obviously offer more benefits. There were more perks, and I could spread my payments out over 12 months. So after talking to one of the associates at their pro desk, they call it, they have pro service agents, and she kind of convinced me to apply for the revolving credit card. I was there again on maybe a Tuesday night. So by the next Sunday, got my courage up. I was driving around looking at houses, got excited about a couple of pieces of real estate that was that realized that were vacant and looking to potentially contact the owner. Got excited, went to Home Depot, and that day I was approved for the Home Depot revolving credit card for $3,000. So basically, they requested or required that I close the Net 30 account in order to open the revolving credit account, which I had no problem doing. And I'll just pay off the Net 30 account and start making purchases on the revolving credit account to build more business credit. So 2 cards, $5,500. That's $5,500. So I was feeling pretty excited at that point. So I felt my momentum. I'm sorry. I felt my momentum was gaining, and I may as well just ride the wave as long as I could, because my thinking was, well, the fact that I'm being approved meant that my credentials and my credit was where it should have been, and in order to get those cards, I would apply for similar cards at similar companies until, it made sense to stop. So shortly afterwards, I think maybe another 2 weeks later, I had visited Lowe's before. I went online, did some research. The Lowe's 4 Pros card, their revolving credit card, business credit card, is backed by Synchrony Bank, the same bank that backs the Sam's store card. So I applied for the Lowe's 4 Pros business credit card in the store. Again, have all my credentials pre-typed on a piece of paper. Talked to the representative. They sent me over to the pro desk. Gave her my credentials. Very helpful, very knowledgeable agent. Typed in all my information. She asked me, "So what credit limit do you want?" I'm like, I've been in these games before. You go into these stores, they get your hopes up. What credit limit do you want? Oh, well, I'm buying $20,000 worth of furniture, so yeah, I'm gonna need 21,000 just to be safe, so I make sure I can get everything I want. Okay, ma'am. And they type in all your information. I'm sorry, ma'am. Here's we couldn't approve you today. The 800 number is gonna call you. Had those conversations too many times. Okay. So in this case, she types in all my information. How much credit are you applying for today? And I said, well, of course I don't want to say a large number and just get declined because they think I'm crazy. So but I need to request what I think makes sense. And if they offer me less, I'll be okay with that. So I thought about my previous 2 cards, and I was kind of doing some of the math and thinking of some of the logic that I was picking up from listening to my fellow YouTubers. And I had 5,500 so far, and I was hoping that registered somewhere. So I decided to apply for $5,000 credit limit. The customer service person types it in. It's kind of a dramatic moment. The wheels turning on the computer like a clock, and we're both looking. And 15 seconds later, bling! You have been approved for $5,000 credit limit on the Lowe's 4 Pros card. Wish I could somehow show you. Yes, lowkountryink mobile notary. So that was very exciting, and I'm going to try to wrap this video up because we tend to talk long on this channel. With the Lowe's card, $5,000, Home Depot, $3,000, Sam's Club, $2,500. That gave me $10,500 in spending power at 3 retail locations that we will use quite a bit. And during that next week, I applied for 2 fuel cards. I applied for the Fuelman's Fleet card. I've listed that I have 4 vehicles, which I currently have 3, and we're adding a 4th one real soon. Fuelman's Fleet card approved me for $2,000. And then shortly afterwards, the AtoB fuel card, accepted in 48 states, gave me a $2,000 net credit limit. And their card works a little differently. The payment terms is that the payment is due every 7 days. And it sounds weird. Well, who would want a credit card where the payments are due every 7 days? Well, my objective, of course, is to build business credit. So that's not exactly a problem. It doesn't have, you know, revolving credit over 12 months. So what we'll use that card for, we'll put in our vehicles, and instead of using our current credit card, because we have to get gas every week no matter what, we'll just use the AtoB card, link it to my business checking account, and the payment will come out every 7 days. So again, we're building credit with a different company, different trade line, different transactions, all paid on time, and that brought my total to $14,500 in about a 7-week period. Very excited about that. So again, building stepping stones towards the future, where I think this will take me. Right now at 14,500, our goal is to start obtaining unsecured, I call them unsecured, bank cards, Visa, MasterCard, you know, the Chase cards that I applied for, those types of cards with large credit limits, 10, $20,000 worth of business credits on cards, and build our credit limits to the extent where we can use those cards for purchases, making down payments on investment properties, purchasing additional items to help cash flow our business, new vehicles to help with cash flow for our business. So we're looking at various ways our business will grow because of business credit, and trying to get those numbers up as much as possible. I mean, going from zero to having 14,500 in a relatively short time has been very exciting, and I am looking for ways to get those numbers to the next level with different types of business credit cards and different types of business credit products, including, and hopefully at some point soon, loans. LOANS, loans, business loans. I hope there was something in this video that helped you. If you have any questions about becoming a mobile notary, a loan signing agent, how the mobile notary business has helped increase my knowledge of real estate transactions, real estate documents, questions about business credit and how it's helping us branch our business in different directions towards our first investment property, how we can maybe make these videos more informational, anything you like to hear us talk about, please type a comment in the description of this video, and I will do so as quickly as my time permits. And please keep your eyes open. Real soon I'll be dropping another video real soon to share with you guys my experience with a company that I've partnered with that is helping me build business credit, additional business credit, different types of business credit cards, so that as we make that expansion, we can somehow make that expansion as well as shorten the time frame to getting there, because as we get to our goals, the more availability we have capital wise, the quicker we are able to get those businesses running and produce the cash flow that we need. It's the Country Notary. Talk to y'all soon.